guys, what's up? Ars Crusader here, and today I'm going to be showing you the most effective way to complete your role as a defender in Hardmode Barbarian Assault. So there are a couple things that I want to go over before actually going into gameplay. First off being gear. So as a defender, you won't be taking too much damage because if everyone's doing their job right, all the penance fighters and rangers will be on the left side, and only the runners and healers will be on the right side, and of course you won't be taking any damage from that, hopefully. But anyway, you do want to still be prepared in case something bad happens, so just wear your best tank gear and a shield, so Tetsu and any type of shield you want. I just had an eagle eye lying in the bank. Other than that, an enhanced Excalibur in your inventory, as well as wave tickets if you are going to be doing 7 through 9s, because that is the most effective way to do BA. On screen now, I should have remembered to leave an annotation to the Runescape Wikia page for the BA wave breakdown, which pretty much tells you how many runners and healers you should expect every single wave. And I just want to explain it really briefly. So for example, in wave 4, it'll say 4 plus 2 runners for a total of 6. The reason why they break it down like this is because of every single wave there's 2 spawn waves. So what that means is the first spawn wave, there will be 4 runners that come out, and then once at least 1 runner is killed, then the final 2 runners will come out. And same thing applies with healers. Not too important in earlier rounds, but I'll explain later how this is useful to know in later rounds. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about your role as a defender. Of course, your main objective is to kill the penance runners. However, since now attackers mainly use Chinchampas for the max DPS, then they're going to have a lot of rangers and fighters surrounding them at all times. So unless they do have vampirism and a blood amulet, then it is very beneficial for the healer on your team to just camp out by the attackers and make sure they don't get wrecked. And so basically you want to make their job easier, or their life easier, and a lot of times the healer on your team won't actually kill any of the penance healers. What you will do is what is called stacking the healers, and basically it's as simple as it sounds. You just get a big stack of them on top of each other, lure them next to the cannon, and fire away. And since red eggs have splash damage, then when you kill one, then you kill all of them, and optimally then all the healers will be killed with the cannon. And finally, the last thing before getting into actual gameplay are just some quick tips. So as of a recent update, you can now surge inside of the arena. Not particularly helpful, but if you are a little bit behind or if there is start lag, then it will allow you to catch up, as well as you see later, if you see that a healer is about to tag you, then you can surge, I guess. But if you're doing it properly, then surge isn't really needed. And the main tip from this is very obvious, but still very important to say: make your calls as fast as possible, people. It is very, very annoying when people don't call. Now we will be going over what is commonly referred to as the main lure, and this is where we're going to actually kill the runners. So basically what you want to do is start north of the eastern trap and spam drop a correct line of food in a 45-degree angle. And as you're running, you'll notice that there's a large stack of healers that will be attempting to tag you. It is very important that you do not let them tag you, because not only will they poison you, but once they do touch you, then they will disperse, and thus ruining your stack and making your life for the attackers and for the healers, and well, pretty much your whole team, a hell of a lot harder. So do not let yourself be tagged. And the easiest way to do this is when you're running northwest, I like to click a little bit south of the pole that's sticking up, and I found that doing that I've never been tagged. And so anyways, after that you spammed your correct food in a 45-degree angle northwest, then head to about the middle of the arena, and then start running south. And as you're doing this, you can drop some incorrect food so that any runners that attempt to go west will be repelled back to your eastern trap. And now what you want to do is loop back around your cannon, and this will trap the healers, and you can go ahead and start killing the runners. So in killing the runners, all you do is make sure that you do have correct food one bit north of the trap, and then stand there Basically, all the runners will crowd around you and they can't get to the food because you're blocking it. And once a good number of them crowd around you, then go ahead and run a little bit south, making sure not to go too far south that the healers get unlured. I personally go just to the southern edge of, no further south than the end of the stairs, and then run back and repair your trap. You will have logs in your inventory because hopefully if your team isn't too bad, then your collector will have shot you a green egg at some point, which will deposit logs in your inventory. And the reason why we do this is because if I do, grab logs in the northwestern area, then it does give more chance of the healers being able to catch up on me and ruining my stack, so it's just much easier this way. But anyways, after you've set off your trap the first time, then set up your trap again, wait for the second wave of runners to crowd around your trap. This is where referencing the Runescape Wikia page is very helpful, so you know exactly how many runners to expect. And then from there, all you do is again run south when the trap goes off, and that is all the runners killed. Alright, so let's start going wave by wave. Just kidding, because I forgot to record wave 1. But basically, you do the main lure, and then once all the runners are killed, then either you or the collector will spam red eggs to kill the healers, and that is your roll done for wave 1. So for wave 2, exactly the same pretty much, except that after you do the main lure and kill not only the runners, but also the first wave of healers, the first 3 healers, then what you want to do is go south of this eastern little groove thing, and just wait for all the healers of the second wave to spawn. So as you see, they'll try to get attracted to me, and all you do here is click on the cannon, and voila, they are magically lured and stacked. And from here again, of course you guessed it, spam some red eggs, kill the healers, and that is your roll done for waves 1 and 2. So waves 3 through 9 will introduce another component called the stall. Now basically the reason for this is because we want to allow ourselves enough time for all of the healers of the first wave to spawn. So in doing so, we also want to make sure that none of the penance runners go through the middle or go too awry. So basically what we want to do, as you'll see, is start from the southeastern corner of the western cannon, spam drop some incorrect food all the way to the eastern cannon, and from there go to the southeastern corner of this cannon, drop some correct food, go to the base of the stairs here and drop another line of incorrect food, and then wait for the call change at your stack of incorrect food. Well, one space north of that, so you can actually see the healers. So basically, to recap, the method for waves 3 onwards, what you want to do is start off by calling, of course, then doing the stall as indicated here, then start your main lure once the next call change is made, and then, kill the runners, kill the first wave of healers, and then kill the second wave of healers as mentioned previously, and yeah, that is, well, actually it's waves 3 through 6. There's a little bit of a change for waves 7 through 9. It's really not too different, honestly. The only difference between waves 7 through 9 is that since there are so many healers that are now in the first spawn wave, then even with the stall, it's still not really enough time for all of the healers to spawn. So when we are stacking and luring the healers, we want to do it all in one go, of course, just to make our lives a little bit easier. So what you want to do is after you do the stall, then what you want to do is actually either wait a couple seconds or just manually count how many healers are in the stack. So referring to the Runescape Wikia page, then it's just wave number -1 in terms of how many healers should be in the first stack. So for instance, on wave 7, I should count 6 healers before I begin my main lure. For waves 8, wait for 7 healers. Wave 9, wait for 8 healers to be in the stack before starting the main lure. So just to recap, for waves 7 through 9, it's the same technique. Do the stall, manually count the healers, begin your main lure, kill the runners, kill the first wave of healers, kill the second wave of healers, and that is waves 1 through 9 complete. So assuming that you're level 99 and that you put the bonus XP into agility, then a full round of 1 through 9 will grant you a little bit over 320k bonus XP, while if you're only doing waves 7 through 9, then it will grant you a little bit over 200k bonus XP. Now, in terms of times, I'm assuming that most players will be going into the French chat BA space games in order to find teams. So with that French chat, then you're probably going to get times of like 25 minutes for waves 1 through 9 and about 10 minutes for waves 7 through 9, even though most of the time they don't do waves 7 through 9 in there. Numbers are a little bit on the low side, but you know, it's a French chat. There's always, you know, there's always like people dying and messing up, and so just in terms of a realistic average, and I'm also assuming that if you're watching this video you are more on the inexperienced side, no offense, just, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere, right? So assuming these times, then the rates for doing waves 1 through 9 is a little bit under 770k bonus agility XP per hour, while doing waves 7 through 9 is about 1.2 mil bonus agility XP per hour. Okay, just going over some last minute tips now. If you do drop some food at or near the call change, then you probably do want to pick it up because it might register incorrectly. So for instance, if the correct food is tofu and you drop some tofu right as the call changes to worms or something, then it might be incorrect. So just go ahead and pick that up. Sometimes also I like to kind of reset the trap by walking away from the trap and then walking back to the trap. And also when I do that, sometimes one runner will be able to get to the trap and you know, deal some damage to me. But for the most part, you're not going to be taking too much damage, so it really isn't that big of a deal. Other than that, besides, you know, calling as soon as possible, just articulate to your team, if they do not know already, that if they walk under you, then you will no longer become an object that can block the runners. So for instance, if you are blocking the trap and there's 6 runners around you, and like the collector walks under you to collect eggs or whatever, then it's GG, because you're gonna get hit 12k, and yeah, that's insta painful death. So don't walk under the defender, people. But other than that, that is pretty much the guide. So this did take quite a while to do, so your feedback is much appreciated. So like this video if you liked it, comment with any comments, subscribe for more content, and as always, stay efficient, my friends.